Hello again, it's Mo. Merry Christmas to you all. We've had some very good response to our Christmas recipes, but quite a few have been asking, is it possible to freeze? So I'm just going to show you a few items here today and talk about one or two others. And yes, you can freeze a lot of the Christmas dinner. And the best thing for freezing, I find, that these little bags are fabulous. They're got a seal on them. Now, what you should start with is obviously the date. And I'm going to be freezing the MCT mince pies first. We made those for Christmas, and 4 of them are a complete MCT meal and 2 are a snack. So make sure that you mark on the bag what it is that's in there, because you just may forget. You may not use them straight away, and we can misremember. So in the first bag I'm going to put the complete meal. So that's an MCT meal. It has 9 grams of MCT oil. Just worth noting. So there you've got your bag, and you just pop 4 in. Because when you make these, when you get the recipe from Matthew's friends, the recipe is for 4, but it's very unlikely that you would make 4, because you might as well make more while you're at it. So if you have 4 as a complete meal and then 2 as a snack, that can be useful for you to have, especially over the busy holiday period where you may just want to grab something quickly. So there we go for that. And then the 2, and exactly the same thing, except it's a snack. So it's an MCT snack. So that will have 4.5 grams of oil. That will help you work out a meal later, or you can just grab that for an afternoon snack or a supper. And after you've frozen them, just leave them out, and you need them, then just leave them out. They'll defrost quite quickly. You can warm them up if you like. It's nice to have a warmed up mince pie. So there you go with your mince pies. Now the next thing I'm going to do is the bread. You may remember that earlier on I made some bread that's suitable for the ketogenic diet. It's very low carb. It's a flax bread, and it's fantastic for sandwiches. Now, at this busy time of the year, you may need to make a sandwich in a hurry. And if you get the portions, this has been portioned up, and each one of those has got 0.5 grams of carbohydrate. So it's very, very low. It does have 4 grams of protein, but that may not be too much of a bother for some of you. Some of you will have to obviously calculate in very, very carefully if you're going to add fillings to this. So again, the date, and it's flax bread, and it's just worth noting the carb is 0.5. That's always the most important thing with the ketogenic diet, and you can note the protein as well, which is 4. It does have quite a lot of fat, and you'll probably be adding more to it. Now once you've got this frozen in a portion like that, as you can see, it's going to make a really nice sandwich, or you can just cut it up and add little bits of tomato, cucumber, the good old Philadelphia cheese. And if you're having a party, family party this time of the year, usually are, this will be great for a quick ketogenic meal. Out of the freezer when you need it, and it'll defrost very, very quickly at room temperature. Right, let's talk turkey. We all have some turkey left over. Please don't throw it away. Weigh it out into the portions that you require and freeze it. You could have meals for quite a few days. Obviously not day after day, but you can grab one out when you need it. You can either make it a hot meal again or just have it for a cold salad or a sandwich. So as soon as you're not going to use it anymore, or you may just particularly want to keep some, so you freeze it as soon as you can after it's been cooked. I wouldn't like to recommend freezing it after 2 days really. So Boxing Day, just set a few minutes aside and weigh a few portions out and put it in the freezer. Much better than throwing it away and wasting it. So you'll get your bag, and Boxing Day is the most likely day you'll be freezing it. Open your bag. Now I've already weighed this out. So it's 16 grams of that. And keep them together like that because they'll freeze better, or they'll stay better. You don't want flimsy little slices floating around in the bag. Just press it down. Make sure the air is out of the bag. Seal it up. Now you can do this with vegetables. If you do have any vegetables left over on Christmas Day, then again, don't throw them away. Weigh out your portion, mark up your bag, and then you could end up with a whole meal in the freezer, and just to pull out. But you must let this defrost in the fridge. That's always the safest place. And when you're sure that it's defrosted, it shouldn't take, small portions like this don't take very long, and then you can just get it out of the fridge for 20 minutes or so before you're going to start either reheating it or serving it as it is. But don't leave it hanging around the kitchen to defrost. That's not a really good idea. That's my tip for today. So there's your turkey. Now you may remember that we did some Christmas puddings, and I've got a couple of snack size puddings here, little ones. If you've got the luxury of keeping the puddings in the basins, then please do before you freeze them, because then they'll all be ready for you to pop in the microwave or the steamer to reheat. So you've got 2 snacks there. They'll go in a bag together. You don't have to do these separately. Mark the bag exactly what it is in there. And you would have probably pre-made these, and you'll freeze them on the day. That would be the best time to do it, because if you've made several of them, you're not going to keep them hanging about and then freeze them. But if on Christmas Day you find that you don't use it, that you use an alternative dessert, then of course you can freeze it then. And they're classical. Classical 4-to-1 is the recipe that I used. You can adapt it to other ratios, and if you have, then obviously you put the ratio that you're using, but this is a 4-to-1. Now, before you pop these in the bag, get a piece of cling film, double it over, and just seal them up. When you reheat them, if you do it in a microwave, it's all ready to go in, except of course you have to pierce the top a couple of times just to let the steam out. Even if you're going to put them in a conventional steamer, you can still leave the cling film on. It's quite safe to do that. And this just helps with the packaging in the freezer, stops the jars clanking together too much. And as I say, you can put them in the same bag because it's easy enough to open up the bag and take one out, leave the other one in and pop it back in the freezer again. So there's no need to do them individually. Seal it up. And there you go. So on New Year's Eve, you may be almost replicating your Christmas dinner. And if you're doing that, and you've got some turkey, and you've got some pudding, mince pie or Christmas pudding, and you may have some vegetables, you haven't got to worry about your next ketogenic meal.